Join Time Magazine's lead education reporter alongside global educators and advocates to explore the impacts of teaching forgiveness.
I teach forgiveness because it can have a positive impact in my students' families.
It helps my students thrive in the face of adversity.
Students who can forgive are happier.
Join us to hear from teachers and thought leaders on how and why to include forgiveness in your classroom.
Widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather.
New coronavirus cases emerge across the country.
Obesity rates have more than doubled in kids.
Cape Town is running out of water.
Good day to you all. My name is Heather van Ster, and part of my responsibility as the Director of the West Coast Education District, one of 8 education districts in the Western Cape province of South Africa is to lead and support a dynamic team of officials and principals of schools to do everything possible to ensure that education is directed at the holistic development of the child. Berghof Primary School is a small, remote, multi-grade school located within the Berghof municipality. Berghof Primary School is situated, as you will later see, at the top of the Olifants Wittehoek mountain range, which is an area which is not easily accessible. Indeed, even within other schools that are located within smaller towns within our rural education district, the principal, Mr. Okes, and two of his staff members take a passionate lead in demonstrating what is truly achievable within a context such as Berghof Primary School. And so everything that happens at Berghof Primary School centers around three things. Firstly, a high standard of quality teaching and learning within a multi-grade context. Secondly, the creation of a warm, safe and nurturing environment which celebrates ethnic and cultural diversity. And thirdly, increasing family and community involvement. But more than just standing tall within our education district, Mr. Okes, the principal, has also made a mark on a provincial level by leading provincial training in multi-grade support, which he has gained within his small remote school, and which he uses this expertise to positively impact on other schools, even those located within a more urban context. I thank you for joining us today as we take our journey to Berghof Primary School.
Good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are, and thank you very much, Mrs. Van Ster, for welcoming us to Berghof Primary School, and what a beautiful video of the school at the top of the mountain. Wow, this remote rural school. Afrikaans berg means mountain, and truly the school is placed at the top of a mountain. My name is Goretti Correa, and I am the Assessment and Examination Advisor at the West Coast Education District. I would like to welcome all our attendees today. We are very excited to be part of the T4 World Education Week, which celebrates schools across the world. Even though we are physically so far apart, this platform allows us to connect in a deep and meaningful way. I would also like to introduce our presenters for the day. Firstly, Mr. Okes, the principal of Berghof Primary School. Welcome, Mr. Okes. And then we have Mr. Chris Extian, a representative of the Cape Leopard Trust. And then finally, we have Mrs. Swartz. Mrs. Swartz is a grade 1 to 3 multi-grade teacher at Berghof Primary School. Thank you, and thank you for joining us today. Our major theme is community partnership and collaboration, and we will show how important this has been in this very small and isolated school on the top of the berg/mountain. We will also discuss our expertise in multi-grade teaching, the holistic development of the learners, and how the curriculum is extended with the help of external collaborators. We will also show how the school's maintenance and upkeep is assisted with these strong engagements with the local farmers as well as the local municipality. We will also look at the last collaboration, that of the West Coast Education District, under which Berghof Primary School falls, and how all these collaborations help to support this small, isolated rural school at the top of an amazingly scenic mountain. All these collaborations strengthen the small but significantly great Berghof Primary School. Could I also remind the audience to please use the hashtag World Edu Week if you're on social media like Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And then any questions you have, you can pose in the sidebar as well. So I welcome you all today to this live event as we travel further into understanding what makes Berghof Primary a truly amazingly unique school. With the help of all these various stakeholders, the educational engagement with the learners is continuously strengthened. We will now watch a short video clip by Mrs. Monica Stanley, the head of curriculum at the West Coast Education District, as she expands a little bit on the topic of multigrade teaching, which happens at Berghof Primary School. Thank you, Monica.
Nou kom ons klank dit staan, graag 2. Nee, pragtig. Graag 3. Speel die woord vir my. Ja,
In South Africa, we have 3 different phases in primary and intermediate schools. We've got foundation phase, grade 1 to 3, intermediate phase, grade 4 to 6, and in the senior phase, we've got grade 7 to 9. Multi-grade teaching is a unique pedagogy practiced in rural and sometimes small community schools in South Africa. This is where one teacher is responsible for teaching more than one grade, and this happens mostly in a South African context in primary schools. Multi-grade teaching presents many challenges. For a teacher who has to teach 2 or more grades in one period and is also responsible for teaching all the subjects in the curriculum. But there are also positives to this method of teaching. We don't necessarily have rigid classroom structures in a multigrade class. Peer interaction and learning feature prominently where the teacher is only the supervisor or the facilitator, and the learners interact, learn to listen, communicate, negotiate, and collaborate with their peers. For this to take place effectively, the multigrade teacher must be skilled in effective classroom management and discipline techniques. Berghof Primary School has really mastered multigrade teaching in this small rural school.
En die boonste blok teken jy jou gunsteling dier. Onderaan skryf julle 3 vir my watter diertjie jy geteken het, né? En julle 2 skryf 2 sinne oor jou diertjie. Dit is jou gunsteling diertjie by jou huis.
Thank you, Monica, for explaining the term multigrade to an audience which maybe has never heard of that practice that is practiced in South Africa. Now I would like to welcome Mr. Okes, the principal of Berghof Primary School, the man of the moment, who will discuss some of the challenges and successes he has experienced at his Berghof Primary School. Mr. Okes.
Thank you, Coretti. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of myself, my staff, and all the learners, I want to thank you for registering for our event, and I want to welcome you on this live event today. My biggest challenge over the years, and when I started as principal of Berghof Primary School, was the high dropout rate of our learners in the senior secondary phase, which is the start of the high school in South Africa. Factors contributing to this include, one, the deep rural setting of the school. Many of our learners struggle to adapt to the new setup outside of this remote setting of us. There was a lack of resources at the school. The resources that were available were old and often outdated. There was a lack of facilities at the school and in our local community, like sport fields and libraries, etc. The size of the school, only 50 learners and 2 teachers, meant that we could not have full sporting teams and enter a school league with other schools. Multigrade teaching takes place at our small school, and this is often seen as substandard to the monograde teaching in the bigger primary schools. So the biggest challenge for us was to provide quality education to keep our learners in the high school after they left us, giving them the skills and the confidence to reach their final grade 12 years of the high school after they leave us. We have great successes. In the first place, we gradually improve our multigrade methodology in class by using a variety of multigrade teaching strategies. Currently, our school is one of the forerunners in multigrade teaching, and our staff assist in providing training and support at district level to other schools. We also focus on reading and numeracy, and we have a fully functional library providing material not only for our learners on site, but to the community as well. My staff development program, ladies and gentlemen, focused also on the professional development of mathematics teachers. Although we are a small and remote rural school, we provide opportunities for our learners to grow in a holistic way. But right from the start, we realized that we could not do this on our own. So we use community partnerships and collaboration with various stakeholders in an effort to further strengthen our efforts to provide an excellent quality of education to our learners and to enhance our teaching skills, which is only evidenced by how much our special learners are able to learn and cope with their future high school careers. All our learners, as a result, go to the high school, and many are successful there. They are able to make the transition from comfortable more from the small remote rural school, Berghof Primary School, to the higher school, to the high school in the nearest town of Portable, for example. I want to please watch the principal of Portable High School in the nearest town, which is about a 40-minute drive down the mountain. He will speak about his high school and the collaboration, as our collaboration with him. We will also hear from 2 of our ex-learners who now attended the school as they speak about their experience in their transition from Berghof Primary School to the high school. I thank you.
Goeiemôre, ek is Kobus Lou, skoolhoof by Hoërskool Porterville. Ons skool is van graad 1 tot graad 12. Ons is so net oor die 500 leerders. Ons is dus nie baie groot skool nie. Ons is klein genoeg dat elke leerder tel, maar ook groot genoeg om kompeterend te wees. Op akademiese, kulturele en sportgebied vaar ons regtig baie goed. Ons het die afgelope paar jaar, eintlik 'n hele paar jaar 100% slaagsyfer vir ons matrieks, sy NSS-eksamen. Op kulturele gebied is daar hele verskillende aktiwiteite waaraan ons leerders ook deelneem, byvoorbeeld koor, musiekklasse, Fit en ook 'n dramagroep waarby hulle betrokke is. Op sportgebied is daar heelwat van ons leerders wat ook in nasionale span. Ek sien Hoërskool Porterville as seker die grootste gemeene faktor in ons gemeenskap. Ons skool het 'n ontsettende groot rol te speel, nie net in die toekoms van ons jeug nie, maar ook in die toekoms vir ons breër gemeenskap. Ons skryf gereeld leerders van Berghof Primary in, en as 'n mens in ag neem dat dit 'n klein multigraad skool is, vaar hulle uitstekend hier by ons. Hulle is akademies op standaard en hulle werksetiek en hulle selfdissipline is baie goed. Op die sportveld is hulle ook 'n reuse aanwins vir ons skool. Baie van hierdie leerders na skool gaan studeer ook verder by universiteite en colleges, en 'n baie goeie voorbeeld hiervan is Marshall Gous, wat laas jaar ons hoofseun was, so ook ons koshuis hoofseun. Meneer Okhuis en sy span doen uitstekende werk om hulle leerders voor te berei vir die lewe daar buite.
Goeiedag, my naam is Jodien Okhuis en ek is 'n graad 12 leerder van Hoërskool Porterville. Ek bly weekliks in die koshuis oorkant die skool, huis van Riebeek, waarvan ek elke oggend te voetskool bywoon. Ek bly in die koshuis omdat my huiswoning so ver van Hoërskool Porterville geleë is. Een van die groot veranderinge wat ek aangepas het vanaf Berghof Primary tot Hoërskool Porterville is die feit dat Berghof Primary multigrade klas en dat Hoërskool Porterville monograde toepas. Een van die motiverings en dinge wat ek van Berghof Primary geleer het, is om altyd daar te werk en dan sal ek my belonings daarvan kry.
Hallo, my naam is Marie Gous. Ek is nou in graad 9 en ek is 15 jaar oud. Ek was 2 jaar in die koshuis, maar daar het ons nog op die plaas daarbo gebly. Maar toe trek ons nou onder toe, so nou ry ek uit en in skool toe. Tussen Berghof en Porterville is dat Berghof was 'n klein plaaskooltjie waar almal jou geken het. So al het jy as 'n nuwe leerling in die skool ingekom, het almal nog steeds geweet wie jy is. Maar toe ek hier by Porterville gekom het, het niemand my geken nie en dit was alles vir my bietjie de mekaar van ek het gesien kinders geheel klasse en elke graad was in sy eie klas en dit was baie leerders. So dit was my bietjie de mekaar. Wat Berghof vir my geleer het was om baie hard te werk vir wat jy wil hê en dat dit glad nie saak maak hoe klein of hoe groot jou skool is, dat dit by ou einde jou besluit is wat jy daarmee wil doen. En hulle het ook vir my leiereienskappe gewys. En toe ek hier by Porterville kom, het ek dit uitgebrei en vir die kinders gewys. So vandag doen ek alles dit nog steeds hier by Porterville en dit bewys vir my dat Berghof 'n baie goeie skool is.
What an amazing testament to the success of the tiny school, Berghof Primary School. We will now further ask Mr. Okhuis, the principal, to further discuss the method of multigrade teaching and perhaps outline a few tips and suggestions for this kind of teaching, which requires the highly skilled expertise of the teacher. Mr. Okhuis.
Thank you, Goretti. In the South African education system, there is one curriculum for all schools, including multigrade schools. So the biggest challenge for me as a multigrade teacher is to cover for 3 grades, the curriculum in 1 term is time. So the question arises, how does my school manage multigrade teaching effectively given the minimum time available to the teacher who is managing 3 grades in a classroom? To be effective, it is necessary to plan and to manage your time very well. A good classroom timetable is necessary, and we at our school use a block time classroom timetable to block certain subjects like natural science and social science, except language and mathematics. By doing so, we give ourselves time to teach certain subjects continuously and keep our learners focused on that subjects alone. It also means less planning for me as teacher. There are, however, certain teaching strategies that we use to be effective. One is integration. Now, integration is a strategy where you combine concepts and skills that are the same for certain grades and certain subjects. The concept of 2D shapes, for example, can be covered both in mathematics and in arts and culture. The concept of water, for example, runs through natural science, geography, as well as life skills. So by combining these concepts, we save a lot of time instead of doing it per subject, per grade on their own. The second strategy I want to talk about is differentiation. So differentiation can sometimes be used in a combination with integration. For differentiation, there is one teaching moment, and then you differentiate in terms of difficulty and complexity according to the 3 grades in your classroom. In a multi-grade classroom, group work is very important. We also make use of learner tutors where one learner who mastered a certain volume of work explained to the other learners. There are also opportunities where the whole class, grade 4, 5, and 6, is divided into ability groups according to the learner's ability level. Sometimes the class, unfortunately, must be grouped into grade-specific groups where you need to teach the concept that is grade-specific. These are just a few of the strategies we use to teach multigrade. One needs to be creative and well prepared to teach a multigrade class. Finally, we also collaborate with other stakeholders to strengthen and enhance the curriculum in a more fun and practical and hands-on way to make the curriculum come alive to our learners and thus strengthen learning. We would like to welcome Mr. Chris Extian from the Cape Leopard Trust, who helps our school in such a powerful, significant way.
Good day, everybody. I'm Chris Extian, the Education and Outreach Manager for the Cape Leopard Trust in South Africa. The Cape Leopard Trust is an NGO that uses research as a tool for conservation, finding solutions to human-wildlife conflict, and inspiring an interest in the environment. The Cape Leopard Trust got invited to be part of Berghof Primary's unique integral approach to teaching. This opportunity allowed for a partnership to form towards education for sustainable development. Our Eco Club program. Together with the school, we managed to bring nature into the classroom. We had an opportunity to run 8 lessons with the grade 5 and grade 6 learners over the past 2 years. Now, these lessons brings complex curriculum concepts into the classroom and unpacks a world to the learners in local contexts by bridging the book knowledge to the actual happenings in and around the schoolyard. And the learners can process these concepts a lot faster and receive hands-on experience on these topics. These lessons not only support natural science subjects, but also other subjects like languages and life orientation, all key skills to a developing child. Our Cederberg camp. Tying all these lessons together, we had a practical wilderness experience in the rugged Cederberg Mountains of the Western Cape, where the children experienced what they were taught in class. Now, this 2-night experience took the learners on a journey in nature with all sorts of fun activities. The camp provided these future learners of our country with the opportunity to fall in love with nature. After all, we cannot ask our learners to love and to care for nature if we do not allow them to spend time within nature. The father of our great country, Nelson Mandela, said that education is the great engine for personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, and the son of a mine worker can become the head of that mine, or the child from a farm worker can become the president of a great nation. It is what we make out from what we have and not what we are given that separates us from other people. And Berghof Primary shows exactly that. It's a small rural school with little resources. They are taking what they have and they're building partnerships and developing the learners through experiences to be the best learners they can possibly be. This all ensures better future for these learners, and it equips them with knowledge and experiences that money simply cannot buy. I would like to thank Berghof Primary for allowing the Cape Leopard Trust for the opportunity to partner in their great work and congratulate them in celebrating the school's successes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Exton. Wow, making school fun again for the learners. I think we all can relate to that. Speaking of amazing collaborations, we will also be chatting to Dr. Hadley Bastion, as well as Mrs. Renelle Bucas from the West Coast Education District, who provide ongoing support and assistance to all the schools in the district. Following that, we will also look at a short video clip of the library, which was also built in collaboration with the local municipality. All these amazing collaborative efforts strengthen the school and ultimately benefit. So welcome, Dr. Hadley Bastion.
My role is to ensure effective management and governance in all schools in our district. Multigrade schools are mostly found in rural areas where the infrastructure is often not well developed and where facilities are very limited and influenced by poverty. These schools are far from towns and villages, in remote rural areas or on farms. In certain instances, these schools are located on private property owned by farmers or churches. Berghof Primary School is a rural multigrade school located on the Berghof Fynbos farm in a secluded 5,000 hectare valley in the Olifants River Mountains. Berghof Primary School is also a Section 21 school and classified under Quintile 1 as a no-fee school. This means the learners are exempted from paying school fees and thus form part of the National School Nutrition Program. The National School Nutrition Program Coordinator and his 2 liaison officers are responsible to ensure that every learner receives porridge and a balanced hot meal on a daily basis. Because you can't teach a hungry child. We feed to energize the mind. The holistic development of every learner is also of utmost importance for the school. Therefore, despite the many challenges they face, the learners participate in various after-school activities offered in our district, as well as in the Multigrade Sports Festival. The vision of the Western Cape Education Department is quality education for every child, in every classroom, in every school. Therefore, to improve the quality of education in the multigrade schools in the West Coast Education District, especially at Berghof Primary School, we focus on improving the quality of teaching and learning, improving school infrastructure, and building effective school management and governance.
Good day, I am Kathleen Ronald Beekes, School Enrichment Officer at the West Coast Education District. At Berghof Primary School, the principal believes in the holistic development of the learner. Each learner must be a happy and healthy learner. The sport codes that the learners play here are chess, Moraba, which is an indigenous game, netball, rugby, and they just started with cricket. Each year, the multi-grade schools and farm schools are having a sports festival, and Berghof Primary School always participates. The department assists the schools with transport, equipment, and refreshments on the day. The learners are always looking forward and dreaming of this special day, where they can show off their talents and meet new friends. The school also has a school choir, which they are very, very proud of. Next year, the school will be concentrating on the different art genres, which will include poetry, choral choirs, and visual arts. When learners go to high school, they are skilled and well equipped. The school is proud of their learners, of what the learners achieve in high school. We believe that learners of Berghof Primary School can become sports stars, Olympians, doctors, teachers, whatever they wish to become, and we wish them well.
Wow. Thanks to all these amazing collaborations, the impact of Berghof Primary on its community as well as the learners has been significantly strengthened. We would like, however, to listen to Mrs. Swartz, the grade 1 to 3 multi-grade teacher at Berghof Primary, and see how she looks at the holistic development of the child and how this remains a top priority of the school. Mrs. Swartz, welcome.
Good day to you all. I'm Julian Swartz. At Berghof Primary, quality teaching is not only a good standard of multigrade teaching, but it also includes a variety of skills development in sport, culture, and student leadership. This whole learner development forms part of our school's vision and mission. We as a staff collectively identified after-school programs for our learners, and the West Coast Education District provide us with ongoing support and training. A values-driven focus guided us to develop the learners in a more holistic way. We focused on our core values. These include respect, pride, and hard work, which also forms part of our school's anthem. We also realize that some of our learners may one day work on the surrounding farms, as this is a primary source of work in our community. As a result, we focus on student leadership, like appointing classroom monitors and prefects, learner tutors in class, and buddy learning. If our learners find future employment of our local farms one day, we would like to see them rising to leadership positions in this field. Learners also participate in sport codes like rugby and netball, even though our small school does not fill whole teams. We focus on the skills and fitness required for these sports. When our learners then move to a bigger high school, they are comfortably able to compete, and many have achieved great results in these areas. Our school choir has helped our learners with focus, learner discipline, and collaboration. Our learners have entered West Coast arts and culture programs like Aesthetics, where they have achieved pleasing results. Not all of our learners will be head boys of their future high school, like Marshall at Portable High School in 2020, or top academic performers. Some of them will become like Terence Pinar, who currently works at Cape Nature and has returned to our school as part of a school environmental program to teach our current learners about the importance of trees and flora in our area. They are also taught about fire awareness and looking after our nature, which we are the future custodians of. Some of them will be like Henry House, the manager of a big commercial protea in Fynbos Town. Through the development of the whole learner, we attempt to alleviate the challenge rural schools have of learners not completing their schooling careers. We try and provide future employment solutions and creative ways for our learners to become well-balanced and happy young adults in our world. I thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Swartz. It seems like the learners' needs are truly met in a well-balanced way. So we thank you for that. We know that for good teaching to take place, it needs to happen in a school building that is well maintained, for the learners to feel pride in that building that they go to school in. Mr. Orcase, can you please speak to us about how your school manages to maintain the building, often with the limited resources available to you?
Switch mic on.
Mr. Dennis and Alicia Shaw bought the farm Berghof in 1959 and built the first buildings in 1962. Mr. Shaw often used to say, with money they did not have. They established the infrastructure of the farm over the past 50 years. The Shaws retired in 2008 for the second time, and Marius Huizamer and their daughter Margot volunteered to take over the farm. In that same year, Bergland Development Trust was established. The workers of the farm Berghof bought the farm Mountain Dew and received shares in the farm. The two farms, Berghof and Mountain Dew, have formed a partnership since then. This has become a successful farm and an investment for our children and the parents who belong to Bergland Development Trust. Since 2009, the portfolio of maintenance was allocated to the farm owner, Mrs. Margot Huizamer, and that includes maintaining the school building. The owners received a monthly rental which covers the cost of the school's electricity. Therefore, the school does not pay a cent for electricity, provided that the school takes care of and what's its usage and be not wasteful. Luxuries for the school like blinds in front of the windows, floor coverings, etc. The Huysdamer family covered with rental money they received from government. One example of such opportunity is the use of the school for the national, the provincial, and the municipal elections. The school and the community benefit mutually from this stakeholder engagement. Both the school and the farm strive towards one vision, and that is no broken windows. There is a good and open system of first reporting, then fixing and maintaining the school infrastructure. Broken windows, leaking pipes and taps are fixed, and we allocate funds for bigger projects like painting the school building as well. These bigger projects take more careful planning and occur usually during the school holidays. We at the school are happy to work closely with our farming neighbors who care for our school just as much as we do. The theme of community partnerships and collaboration is really felt by our school, and we have benefited tremendously by the strengthened engagement with these key stakeholders in our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okes. I can hear the passion in your voice as you speak about your school. Now, if we want to take a question or two from the audience, Sephora, are there any questions that have come through in the sidebar?
Good, Etty. In the interest of time, let's only have one question be answered. And the question is, how was your school impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic? This is for the principal.
Thank you, Sephora. Thank you for the question. COVID-19 definitely had an effect on our school. Our classrooms were too small to accommodate all our learners and observing a 2-meter social distance during the first 6 months of this year. We therefore divided our classes in 2 groups attending school on alternative days during the school week. Grade R and grade 1 attending school every day of the week because they are in the early learning stage that needs more teaching time. The split in the foundation phase, for example, was between grade 2 and grade 3. So grade 1 and 3, for example, attended school on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then the first and the third Friday of the month. In the intermediate phase, we grouped the grade 5 and the grade 6 together, attending school on Monday and Wednesday, and then also the first and the third Friday of the month. For grade 4, our biggest or largest class group, they attend school on Tuesday and on Thursday, and then on the second and the last Friday of the month. And that's how we handle COVID-19 at our school.
Thank you, Mr. Okes. All these challenging times that you are able to adapt to. Now I would like to wrap up with the 5 takeaways from Berghof Primary School that we would like to share with all the attendees and those who watch the recording after. Berghof Primary School has managed to overcome many challenges which the school's very remote and isolated nature could have presented to the school. This has been done very much by strengthening and maintaining strong collaborations with stakeholders who care and continue to provide support. The local farmers offer much of their time and support to the school and the learners. And the teaching staff are also key stakeholders and have mastered core teaching strategies and continue to grow in the area of multigrade teaching. Another collaborator, the local municipality, assisted in ensuring the building of the school library, and we can see in this library how even the learners are given opportunities for leadership and growth in this space as well. I suppose most importantly, the children are also allowed to have fun. Even though we don't fill sporting teams, the learners are still taught the skills involved in the various sporting codes. This, as well as their involvement in the other cultural activities, chess, board games, choir, allows the growth of the holistic and more balanced child who can face any future high school with a lot more confidence. The West Coast Education District is also a key stakeholder and provides ongoing support in many ways. We think possibly most importantly, the feeding scheme, which ensures that each and every learner is able to attend school with a tummy full of food. Berghof Primary School takes pride in its mountain school and allows the learners to feel this same sense of pride as they face life's challenges ahead with a head held high as they too take up their role as key stakeholders in their communities and beyond. Today, I would like to thank the team who have put this event together. Mr. Orkes, Mr. Extian, Mrs. Swartz, the West Coast Education District, namely Monica, Sephora, Horatio, Oriel, and Samicha, as well as Dirk and Stephen. And I leave you with two beautiful quotes: that quality education for every child in every classroom in every school in the province is certainly provided for the school at the top of a remote rural mountain. And the bottom quote: we understand that unity is strength where there is teamwork and collaboration, that wonderful things can be achieved. And this is certainly the case at Berghof Primary School. Thank you all for attending, and I bid you a good afternoon or evening further, wherever you may find yourself. Thank you.
Join Time Magazine's lead education reporter alongside global educators and advocates to explore the impacts of teaching forgiveness.
I teach forgiveness because it can have a positive impact in my students' families.
It helps my students thrive in the face of adversity.
Students who can forgive are happier.
Join us to hear from teachers and thought leaders on how and why to include forgiveness in your classroom.
temperature rise will bring widespread devastation and unprecedented extreme weather.
New coronavirus cases emerge across the country.
Obesity rates have more than doubled in kids.
Cape Town is running out of water.